Yesterday, I had spent 7 hours hanging out with people outside of school, outside of work, outside of my home. And I think I had probably the best time of my life. It was me and like a giant group of friends. It was like a group of five or so people. And we went to the park and we're like sparring and fighting and like training together. And then we had went to like a local boba shop that one of our like female friends had owned, and we were in there and we were like goofing off, like literally wrestling inside of the shop. And like the girl whose family owned it was like freaking out, like, "Oh my god, what are you guys doing?" Like all this types of stuff. Me and my boys and like a couple of, well, one girl was there, but like other girls were like shifting in and out, like guys, girls, like we all got the opportunity to hang out. And what a lot of people don't do is outside of work, outside of school, a lot of people don't actually hang out and socialize and like build real friendships like that outside of just like the requirements of like, oh yeah, I see that person third period, or oh, on my Wednesday shift, I see Sally, she's cool. People don't really build friendship past that. And I kind of want to give you like a full guide, a full roadmap into the light of how to actually achieve that. So this is after years of self-improvement. This is after like 5+ years of dedicating like quite a bit of time to socializing. Like there was a period in my life where for months at a time I would talk to like 10 new people a day. And that was like in school. So there's only so many people. I probably, the year that I did that, maxed out the amount of people that like I had access to. I literally talked to everybody constantly, and I would always try and make it a point to have like not like a super deep conversation because I was looking for numbers and volume and repetition, but I would always make it a fact to make it a memorable conversation. And I would say like 60 to 70% of the time I was fairly successful. This is going to be no bullshit. This isn't going to be like highly edited or like weird, like dopamine hits. And I'm not going to be giving you like random lies or anything that like social media traditionally talks about. I'm going to be giving you real down to earth stuff that works because this is my unfiltered channel. I'm just giving you advice. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Maybe I will in the future. Who knows? But right now, all I have is my calisthenics, like program slash course slash community slash group calls slash, it's a ton of stuff in there if you're interested in like calisthenics and calisthenics training and like building a big body and all that type of stuff using calisthenics and getting strong, being able to do like 60 kilo weighted pull-ups. That's 135 pound pull-ups. Like me, you can go first link, but other than that, I don't have anything to sell you relating to the topic we're talking about. This is going to be my full roadmap from meeting someone all the way up to building like a deep intimate friendship with them that lasts 5 years plus. When it comes to meeting someone, there's only like a couple good ways to do it. It's not like random cold approaching. Like girls and guys are a little bit different. I'm assuming you're a dude and you want to meet like other like masculine like guy friends, and you want to be able to do that in a way that it's not like super shallow, like with the chick you cold approach. Like you go up, you say hi, maybe you like do some kissy face, you bang, like you have sex, whatever. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for deep, meaningful friendship, preferably with guys, because we're guys ourselves, and that's just, we relate to them better, if you kind of understand what I mean. How you meet people, and it's going to be like quite brutal. This is going to be a brutal truth. The best way to make friends is to have like the traditional, like materialistic, like cool type of stuff of you have a cool physique, you've been doing the self-improvement stuff for a while, maybe you've built a little bit of money online, maybe you have a little bit of success on social media, all that type of stuff is important. That's like first layer. So it's like if you've heard of the halo effect when it comes to like attracting a girl, for example, if you've heard about that, or not even attracting a girl, just like pretty people or like attractive people generally are easier for them to make friends, and it's easier for them to get ahead in life because people just like looking at them, and if they like looking at you, that's kind of like taking up one of their senses. If you can hit each individual sense like conducively enough to where like you're recognizable and people are like, whoa, you make my eyes feel nice, like that type of thing. It sounds weird, but that's how it works. If you can do that, then people just like you more. So it's not like a definitive thing, but it's one in the sense. It's one of the senses. That's like level one. And it's super, super crazy to see. But if you're like a weirdo, if you're like, there's obviously groups for them. There's groups for everybody. But just from what I've seen back when I was like a lot more weird and not on self-improvement, I didn't know how to speak to people and all of that kind of stuff. People don't really care for you. It's kind of like you don't exist. And if you felt like that, if that's something that you went through, and it's something you probably have went through if you're watching this and you're trying to like pay attention because you don't have like the best attention span or whatever, because you are like playing games all day and scrolling and all that type of stuff and like jerking off to porn and all those different types of things, that's hard. So step number one is just improve yourself to the max. And obviously, that's not like a requirement for a deep friendship. I'm not going to say like you have to have 10 out of 10 physique and have all the money and all that type of stuff to build a friendship, because that's completely incorrect. there are people who are, and I guess I don't want to be like offensive with it, but in my eyes are like more dorky than not, who have way better friendships than even I do, or even you do. So that's not the ultimate requirement. But in order to get your foot into the door, it's super important to have that like charisma. And some people either have it or they don't. But the thing is, I thought I didn't have it. I thought like I was some weirdo and I would never be able to like go up to someone random and like speak to them and make them laugh and think of a punchline, or when I see a girl like be able to flirt and all that type of stuff. I thought I wasn't that guy years ago. And now I'm probably the best at it that I know in person. And it's because of the fact that I practiced. I told you before, 10 new people a day. I have like, if you've ever heard of a habit tracker, now it's basically like a checklist over the course of a month. So I have like the dates from like September 1st all the way up to the 31st or the 30th, however long September is. And I'll have like a box in between, and every day I'll either check it off or I'll put like an extra or I'll leave it blank if I didn't do it. And one of them is compliment a girl. I've been doing that every day for the past over a week. And it's simple. It's small wins that allow you to be able to socialize and be able to get your foot into the door, and being able to level up your skill of being like more charismatic, being able to level up your skill of having a better physique, being better looking, all that type of stuff. It's super shallow, but in the beginning, I want to give you like that brutal, brutal truth of, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And I know if I was uglier, I wouldn't say like I'm gorgeous or anything, but I don't think I'm a bad looking guy at all. If I was uglier, if I wasn't as charismatic, if I didn't have like a somewhat naturally deep voice, if I wasn't all these things, then yeah, socializing with people would probably be a little bit harder for me. And on the contrary, if I was better looking, if I was taller, I'm 5'4", I think. I'm a short guy. I'm not tall at all. If I was maybe a little bit leaner, a little bit bigger, or maybe like I didn't have like this weird like Asian genetic like puffy face stuff, like I kind of have a jawline, but not really. If I didn't have all that stuff and I was better in these ways and I was more charismatic and I was funnier and I had more followers on social media and I had like a fancy watch that I was wearing and that was worth a lot of money, but I was wearing it like not obnoxiously, like nonchalant, only when it was like a requirement, like a fancy dinner or like a school party or whatever. I had worn it just for the sake of like being fancy. If I had done that and people had noticed it, that would level me up in the social chain. So the lesson that I kind of want to give you in the beginning is, this is like level 0, is always level up, always try and improve, always get better. Because if you want to have the types of friends who do the same thing, you need to be one of those people who are always getting better, always improving, and always progressing. Because I wasn't even planning on talking about this in the beginning, but it is just a sad reality of like how humans work. It's just human nature. I don't control it. I don't control the narrative. This is no BS. I'm just telling you how it works. Back to meeting people. Picking an activity that you guys have in common is probably the most important thing. How most people traditionally meet their friends is they're in school, they have periods with them, they eat lunch with them. During work, you meet like your coworkers or your boss or any of those types of things. You get like drinks on weekends, all that type of stuff. I'm young. I don't know how any of that stuff works when it comes to like working. I've never actually had like a real job, but I do like online coaching, that counts. But being able to do activities is definitely, definitively the most overpowered way to meet people. And the thing is, it's really easy to meet people when you're good at something, because then they come to you. They ask you for advice. They say, oh man, you're really good at this thing. They give you compliments. They have a positive outlook towards you already. Me, for example, I met a lot of my friends this year from playing volleyball, because if you don't know, I was like a national level player for about a year. I went to nationals. My team placed like but when it came to like the actual skill level, I could have went to, if I was tall, I could have went to literally any college I chose if I continued with it. People now, even though I'm way worse than I used to be, people now compare to like regular like gym volleyball, like within my school, I'm like one of the best players. And people look at that and they want to get better, they want to improve, because like there's been this huge spike of like volleyball culture recently, and a bunch of people, especially in the United States where I live, have been wanting to progress in it. There's a cat right there. Meow. Okay, anyways, there's been like a huge boom in culture kind of where I lived, and that's something people respect. So they come up to me, I get compliments because of it. People are like, whoa, whatever. And like some guys are dickheads and they're like, you really suck at volleyball. And they're like actually complimenting me, like they're obnoxious with it. But people come to you. If I was to suck at something, which I have in the past, what you do is you just compliment the person, and then you just see if you vibe with them. So when meeting someone, this is your basic roadmap. If you are good at the thing, people will come to you, or you can have more confidence in the fact of going to the person. You just talk to them like you're a normal human, give them a compliment, say like, oh, you like their shoes or their shirt or whatever. Girls, I always say like, oh, your hair looks nice, like whatever, just because like, I don't know, that's what I'm into. Like, hair's cute. I don't fucking know. Like girls with freckles, like I like how compliment the freckles. Just figure out something to compliment them. That's like the most overpowered way to get someone to like you. And it's the simplest. Literally walk up to them. If you see me, be like, instead of being like, you're short, be like, oh man, I like how confident you are in spite of your height. And then I'll probably look at you like you're an asshole. And then I'll like reframe and be like, okay, whatever. Thanks. I appreciate it. Like that type of thing. But giving someone a compliment, if you're good at the thing, like good at the activity that you're doing, this is a lot easier. And if you're worse at the activity, giving a compliment, but still trying to vibe with the person more. So if you're good at the thing, you don't necessarily have to like do the compliment and give them the thing. Again, this is just how people work. You'll be better off if you do, but it's not a requirement. If you go up to someone and you suck at something, you suck at volleyball, for example, and you're good at volleyball, I'm bad at volleyball, I go up to you and I come up to you and I'm like, hey, I saw that you like set the ball really good. Like, for example, like overhead set, like you position the ball, whatever, imagine like quarterback in American football or like, what's it called? Like point guard in basketball, like that type of position. You're really good at sending the ball. Like, how do you hold the ball? What do you do with your fingers? And like, I'll show you whatever that gets us interacting. Try and like not be weird about it, but try and get like some physical contact going. So like always a fist bump or like doing this thing, like the handshake with people like the guys do, like that type of thing. Again, getting into as many senses as you can. So we talked about before, like the halo effect, like looking good gets into their sight. You want to get into their touch. You want to get into their smell. You want to smell good. Better smelling people tend to have a better like result when interacting with new people because it's first impressions. Getting into each of their scent, their sight, their smell, their taste. Like if you make out with them straight away, but like genuinely, like giving them a piece of food would be an overpowered tactic. Like genuinely, because it sticks with them and it hits all of their senses. With girls, it's more of like a emotion based thing. So you want to hit as many emotions as possible. With guys, you kind of just want them to respect you. You want them to laugh a little bit, and then they'll be your best friend. With girls, it's a little bit different. Yeah, you want to be respected. Yeah, you want to make them laugh, but also you want to make them kind of annoyed. You want to make them kind of angry. You want to make them kind of nervous or anxious or giggle or whatever. Not like in a toxic way, but like switching through the emotions. So like you insult them and be like, you what's an insult you can give? They're wearing like a stupid hairband. And you're like, no, if your face wasn't so pretty, I would think you looked really dumb right now. Like that's hitting multiple emotions at once. You give them a compliment and then you insult them because the hairband looks stupid. But they're like, oh my God, because that's how it works. You hit a ton of emotions. So this is for meeting people. Essentially, the roadmap is giving a compliment, trying to get some type of physical contact in, and just generally trying to hit as many emotions as possible for women and trying to hit as many senses as possible just generally. So guys, get a touch in, maybe give them like, I don't know, if you're a girl, maybe you can like give them food. Guys love that shit, by the way. If you have a guy that you like and you're a chick watching this, 100%, if you give him food, he will like you at least 20% more, especially if the food's good, especially if you were the one who made it. You're like instantly 1.5 times more attractive if you made the food and if it's really good. And if it's like a sizable amount, so like instead of giving him like a piece of something, you give him like a small chunk of it or like half of it or like a whole container of something. Obviously, it's a little weird if you just walk up to a guy you've never met. And even then, like a guy's who confident, even then, like this is for the ladies. If you're a dude, do the thing where like you press I think it's the L key on the keyboard and like you double tap your phone, do that like a couple of times. But low key, if you're a girl, even if you can be as awkward as you want, guys love that shit. Guys love like goofy girls. You walk up to me or walk up to another dude like that you have a crush on that you've never spoken to before, and you give him like a little gift or something, he'll probably look at you like you're weird. And if he has a girlfriend, he might like shoo you off, or if he's like strange or whatever, he might shoo you off. But the majority of like confident guys will look at you and be like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's like awesome. What was your name? Like, what was good? He'll like try and fist bump you, try and give you like a side hug, whatever. And maybe that stuff won't happen, but it's more prone to happening than to not. So that's my advice for the ladies out there. If there's a guy that you like, just do like small gift. Don't be obnoxious about it to where like he's using you or whatever. Because I mean, a guy would love getting food whenever, but if you're expecting something in return, don't expect to get something back. Expect nothing and just hope that this will make him like me more. I hope it does. And then you guys will get to know each other naturally. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Right. So what did we go over so far? We went over meeting people, first impressions, getting into all of their senses. For women, attaching to as many emotions as possible. Cool. You met the person. Maybe you've interacted with them like 2 to 5 times, something along those lines. What next? How do you actually like progress the friendship? Because like just walking by someone in the hallway or on the street, fist bumping them is a lot different than like actually getting their number, speaking to them, all that type of stuff. When it comes to getting the number, and this is going to be more specific for guys, and if I work in girls, I'll work in girls because it is different. When you're trying to get a dude's number, literally just ask. Say, hey, I'm going to a thing this weekend. I'm going to do something like, oh, give me your number. We can like do this thing later. Oh, let me talk to you about that assignment. Or just be like, yo, give me your number. I want your number. You're a cool guy. I want to interact with you more. Just being like kind of open with that. Literally, I have said to people like, yo, you actually surprise me a lot, because like this is a compliment I would give someone. You actually surprise me a lot. A lot of people are like, focus on this other stuff, or focus on girls, or focus on like this thing or this thing, or most guys are like fitness, gym cells or whatever. You actually surprise me because you don't really talk about like yourself that often. When you do, it's only positivity. When you do, it's only inspirational. It makes me want to do better. You're not like bragging or like obnoxious, or you go to the gym, you're in awesome shape. That's not your whole personality. You're good at your studies and you're good at this other stuff, or you're good at this other thing, and try and work in compliments that are genuine. So if that person is none of those things, and there's just a gym cell, and they're like in the gym all day, but they're like kind of funny and you want to hang out with them, and maybe you'll have like a workout partner, for example. If that's the case and they're none of the other things that I mentioned, and they're like opposite what I said, but they're just in really good shape, you can be like, yo, man, I actually like respect the fuck out of you for like taking care of your body how you do, and like caring as much about your physique as you do. So many guys don't care about that. Like it's really, really inspiring seeing you, because when I see you, it makes me want to do better in my own body. And then most guys are like awkward because guys don't really get complimented like that. But again, that hits another emotion. That makes you unique. Like if you look at content creators online, the most famous ones are the most unique ones. If you look up like Sam Sulek, for example, that's an example I love. Like in the early days, zero production quality. Like he had like a mid camera, he had an intro, that was it. He would just record his workouts, but he was 100% him, and he was 100% genuine. And the genuineness was a positive genuineness. He would speak up about people. He would speak up about himself, about others, and saying like, yeah, just train hard and like what you're doing and all that type of stuff. That's all that you need. And this is completely unscripted, by the way. So if I like make mistakes or whatever, then it is what it is. Just trying to make them feel good, and then acquiring the number. That's your roadmap. Compliment, number. Tons of compliments, works well. Not to the point to where it's obnoxious. Only say it when you genuinely mean it. Genuinely. If you're just like trying to pick things out and like, oh, I have to give a compliment before I do the thing, that's not required. I have friends that I've known for like fucking, I'm about to turn 17, like 13 years I've known. I don't compliment them for shit. I don't speak to them for like 2 years. And then we come back like we're best friends, and we just make fun of each other the whole time. That's completely fine for a friendship. I'm just talking about, you kind of base it off the type of friendship that you want. So if you start out insulting each other, interacting inappropriately, doing like degenerate stuff together, like smoking weed, doing drugs, all that type of stuff, that's going to be the basis of your friendship. That's going to be the foundation. And I've made this mistake before with like relationships, where it would be about like the more like, I guess, lustful, like physical type of stuff, and I love all that. Like, I'll be completely honest, I'm wearing a cross, like I'm Christian, I'm fairly dedicated, not as much as I'd like to be, but granted, who is? And yeah, I've fallen in that too. We all do. But you have to set the standard, and you kind of have to make a few mistakes before you do well. And when it comes to meeting people, getting their number, like guys specifically, it's as simple as literally just being like, yo, bro, give me your number, give me your phone number, whatever. Guys won't be worried about it. If they're like, no, I don't want your number, like you're weird, then you don't want to be friends with them anyway, because they just don't respect you. That's all that it is. And if they don't, you can kind of like make a joke about it, because maybe like they're kind of joking, but not really. But they're like 50-50 on it. Be like, you can act like, what I do is like, I act extremely offended, like I can't believe this, like, oh my god, and like I act like a goofball, essentially. And again, that's just me acting myself. Authenticity is the number one thing. Acting how you want to act, not how you think you should act, is the number one thing. With girls, it's I used to just ask outright, but then the conversation would go like kind of stale after a while. I like to do it as you invite them somewhere. So you like talk to them. Maybe always do it like when you're on a high note. Never get to the point with a girl like when you're first meeting them. Like if you're trying to do like the whole code approach and like trying to get to know them and like get to know them type of stuff, where like you guys are talking, you're laughing like your ass is off, you're hanging out, you're goofing, like maybe you get a little bit physical, like you're wrestling a little bit, and then it gets boring and you're both bored and you're like looking at each other like, so who's going to say you're going to go first? Like y'all are both getting ready to leave and you're trying to not make it awkward. Never let yourself get to that point. Always do it when you're on a high note. Be like in the middle of a laugh, in the middle of a joke, whatever, right before or right after the laughing ends, like within the second, be like, anyways, disregarding what just happened, I was planning on going to the park this weekend by Tom Hoffman. You should come. And most girls I've noticed will be like, huh? Like most people, it's weird. They ask huh not because they didn't hear you, but because they did hear you, but they want to reprocess what you said. Especially if you're like a more attractive guy. What a lot of people will do, like a lot of girls, they'll be like, what? Huh? Like they didn't hear you. Like you've heard everything I've said up till now. Magically, when I ask you out, you're like, huh, what? It's not because they didn't hear what you said. It's because they want to reconfirm what you said and kind of gauge in their mind, like, okay, this is happening. Just repeat it. Say it a little bit slower. You can, in some cases, you can even talk them like they're stupid. Like it's funny. Make it a joke. Be like, do you want to go to the park? P-A-R-K. I'd leave the mistaken. I wouldn't edit it out. With me by so and so place. That's all that you need to do. And then she'll either say yes or she'll either say no. She'll be like, "No, I'm actually busy this weekend, but another day I'd be fine." And be like, "Okay, yeah, just give me your number anyway. We'll figure it out." Never be like, "Can I?" Never be like, "You should." Never like try and convince the person. That's what I've noticed with girls a lot. And that's what a lot of people talk about. It sounds like a question, anyways. When you say you should give me your, not even you should. When you say, "Give me your number. I want to invite you to this thing." It still is framed as a question. If the girl gets offended and she's weird about it because you said give me versus like whatever, she's a little bit weird for that. Now she could be making a joke because she feels awkward or like it's a little bit strange for her or whatever. Now she's like, wow, you're just gonna like tell me what to do. Literally just look at her and be like, yes. You got an issue with that? Like make it a joke, make it playful. Like sometimes I'll like hold up finger guns to them and I'll be like, yeah, and you don't have a choice either. Like it's that type of thing. It's a joke, make it fun, make it playful. As long as you're not awkward, as long as you're keeping authentic and just saying what your brain automatically generates, you'll probably be fine. I swear to God, I've literally said to girls, this was yesterday when I told you like the story in the beginning. This was yesterday. One of the girls who was with us at the shop that we were at, like the boba shop. Boba tea is essentially like Chinese tea with like black balls on the inside that you chew on. It sounds weird, but it's not. It's actually pretty good. I got like a coffee or whatever with the boba in it or whatever. But one of the girls was into like weird, like I think it's like called grunk. I don't know what it's called. It's like strange, like sex books, basically. Like it's pretty weird. And she was talking about like, yeah, she just reads it for like the sake of whatever. And like, I had remembered that. And later she was talking about like, yeah, she wants to start doing like films and stuff for her art because she's like kind of like big on Instagram. Well, not big, but she like posts on Instagram and stuff and gets like views and all that type of thing for artwork that she does. And she wants to do like day in the life, like vlog type stuff and like time lapses and all that type of stuff. And she's getting a camera for it. And I remember I literally said to her, because this is what came to mind, and I'm like fairly comfortable with this person at this point because we were hanging out for a couple of hours and it's not like going to ruin the mood because like whatever. I literally said to her like, oh, do you want me to be like your co-star? And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, for like your sex books. And she was like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, let's get it on, girl. It's good. I swear I said this. And it was a joke and it was funny and she laughed and she giggled and it was all this stuff. And no one was offended, no one was upset because I said it when it came to mind. I wasn't trying to do like some cringy pickup line. If you know you're not the type of guy to say that, if you're like kind of like closing up and like feeling a little bit awkward and like now you're noticing your breath and like you're shaking and itching and like doing this type of thing because I said that, then that's not the type of line you would use. But for me, because that's just the type of person I am, I'm known for saying like outlandish shit. I had to re-record the beginning a couple of times because I was saying like how I was gonna get jumped by brown dudes. It's fine. All of my friends that were at the shop with me were black, so it's cool. I was the only white guy. I'm Asian, but I look white, so it is what it is. Anyways, that's kind of what I mean. Just say what your mind automatically generates. Keep it fun, keep it creative, be spontaneous with it. But main point for this section when it comes to like girls specifically, never get to the point to where the conversation becomes unfun or uninteresting. You can save this if it does get to that point with one simple line. Just make a joke and say, "Oh, so now you're being boring as fuck. I'm gonna leave." And like stare at her, and she'll be like, "Huh? What? And then she'll probably be like, "Oh, well, you started," like, ah. And like you guys will get into a mini argument, get a little bit loud, get a little bit rowdy, maybe like push her a little bit, whatever, that type of thing. And then you can lead it in because it was boring. You use the level of boredom, shifting it into something that was more interesting. And now that the more interesting thing is spiked, she's like kind of spiked like her dopamine or like emotional state or whatever you want to call it. Now you can be like, okay, give me the number, give me the Instagram, whatever. Another thing, if you post on Instagram, people love that. There was one girl that I had got, or I gave her my Instagram because I didn't have my phone with me, or I think I did, but like I have to do this weird pen thing, and if you it's a whole story. My phone's fucked up. I have to use a pen that attached to it. I can't actually physically touch the screen. And if I'm sat there like, so her name's Isabella. Oh, I did the swipe wrong. My bad. Is Isabella? That'd be awkward. So I would just like take my Instagram. Like I'll text you back later. I have shirtless pictures of me. I have me doing cool like calisthenics skills, all that type of stuff. I have in there that I'm like decent size on YouTube, like couple hundred subs. I get like decent viewership, and I have people inside of my paid program, and you can see all of that on my Instagram. I swear, bro, because I took her phone from her, I put in my name, I handed it to her upside down. So like if I'm handing this to you, the screen's facing me. I handed it to her like this, and I like started to walk away, but I had looked back to like see what her reaction would be because I knew. And she had opened it, and I swear to God, she like covered her mouth, and she was like, yeah, like that type of thing that girls do. And it's like, yeah, because I look good, and I'm on Instagram. I got big muscles. Like, of course. So that's another thing. Halo effect, super important. Looking attractive, super important. If I didn't have that and it was me like re-uploading memes, I wouldn't have got that reaction. It would be completely different. So what have we went over so far? We went over meeting someone, getting a compliment, interacting with them based on the activity that you're doing, going out and meeting people. This can also be online, but it's a little bit more complicated. I haven't done that yet, so I can't give you like a comprehensive guide. Then when trying to interact with them, because like inside of the workplace and inside of school or whatever, you're like kind of required to be friends. Like that person is the most interesting person within that period. If they could pick, they would probably rather hang out with someone else. If they already do, if you guys hang out outside of school or outside of work, then that's like building a deeper friendship. So getting to the point of building a deeper friendship, guys, just ask for the number. If you talk to them a couple of times, you're like, hey, you want to do something this weekend? Like, come to my house. We can do this thing. Oh, you want to hit a workout sometime? Let's go to the gym. Oh, there's a park near us. Let's go there. Whatever, all that type of stuff. With girls, it's a little bit more complicated, but still super simple. Just be like, make them laugh, make them joke, like be attractive, like be spontaneous, flirt with them a little bit, and say what I do is like instead of saying they're good looking, I say like I'm good looking, and then they laugh, and then I'm like, oh, so you think you're the pretty one? They're like, yeah, you got something to say about it, and then I'm like, nah, you're ugly, and then like they get sad, and I'm like, no, you're actually gorgeous, low key, and then they're like, oh, and then I'm like, give me your number, and they're like, okay, and then I have a number, and then I don't use it. Life's hard. Anyways, on to the next point. So we went over meeting, progressing, and then we're going to go over actually hanging out with them. Find a spot that's fun. Think about it like this. If you aren't required to be interesting, would you be interesting? Maybe if you're an authentic guy, but if you're watching to this level and you're to the point in like your self-improvement / socialization journey to where to where this stuff is kind of like not so like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? This is all a little new for you. If this stuff is a little new, and you're the concept of like compliments and like fist bumping and like getting all of the senses and like getting people to have like emotional responses towards you and like getting numbers and all that type of stuff is a little bit more complicated for you, and it's not super familiar, that's the word I was thinking of, it's not super familiar, then I kind of lost my main point. If it's not super familiar, then this part might be a little bit more difficult for you, like you're not interesting unless you have to be. What I kind of noticed is that me still, I'm nervous about like, oh, what if it's not fun? What if like I'm weird or I'm not feeling it that day, or like I'll wake up tired and I know if I'm tired, I slur my words, and I know if I slur my words, I don't make as many jokes as I should, or the jokes I want to, or the jokes don't hit, all that type of stuff, like that type of thing. If the person is traveling to you, let's say it's like a 15 to 30 minute walk or bike ride in order to get to the location. So let's say like their parents drop them off, or like you're going out with a girl and like you pick her up, or you guys walk to a park like separately or whatever. You find like something to do, you go to the store, you walk around like neighborhoods or outlets or whatever, like just find something to do. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't go to a movie theater for a first date. That's like one of the worst things you can do. You're literally sat there watching something, not interacting, unless you're literally like doing this to each other or like fucking that type of stuff. Don't go to a movie theater. If the person is traveling and if it's inconvenient for them to get to you, they're going to want to make it a good time. You're also going to want to make it a good time because it's inconvenient for you as well. 99, I don't think I've ever had a single like weird hangout when I've tried to hang out with someone outside of school. When I do it in school and I'm like, hey, we should hang out this period, and we go to hang out, it's always super awkward because there's no needed, there's no requirement, there's no inconvenience to hang out with each other because we're already in the same period, we're already in the same school. Neither of us really care. It's kind of like spontaneous, and we don't really want to like hang out with each other, that type of thing. If you are to the if you're to the level to where it's inconvenient for the two of you to get to the location, not inconvenient in the sense of like, oh, I just don't want to do it, but inconvenient in the sense of like, you have to like go out of your way to do it. You have to set up, you have to pack, you got to look good, you got to put the cologne on, all that type of stuff. Then you're both going to want to make it a good time. With women, it's a little bit different because if they like expect to get paid for it, then it's just like a free outing or whatever. But most girls aren't like that. A lot of people on social media push it like that. If you're the type of guy who's like going up to girls who are like cute and sweet and innocent and all that type of stuff, if you're like interacting with them, then you probably don't have to worry about that. If you do have to worry about that, you have the wrong type. So that's all I have to say for that. But again, just be yourself, be authentic. What that means is when you automatically generate a joke, say the joke. When you automatically generate a thought, do the thought. If you want to move or shift or rotate or change up how you're sitting or stand up or do this kind of like weird back stretch next to them, or you want to like touch them in a way that's like not creepy, do it. Just do it. Maybe they'll make fun of you if like you stretch weirdly. Maybe they'll make fun of you if you're like sitting up and down constantly, or you're doing like this ADHD like jittering stuff or all that type of thing. If you're with a girl and she's like not into you and you touch her, she might scream rape. That hasn't happened to me, but I know people that's happened to. Now it was a joke, but you know, when people are around, people start looking and it's a little bit embarrassing. Don't hang out with those types of girls. But, and always make the joke first. I always do that. I do that a lot. With girls, like if they try and like wrestle with me or touch me or like they hit me or something, because like I'll say something outrageous. You know how girls like smack you just to be funny because they know you can handle it? When that happens, I'll be like, oh, but if I did that, that's a rape charge. And they're like, if they seem like angry at it, then don't touch them. If they're like joking and kind of like leaning into you and all that type of stuff, push them, start with a push, smack them. What I was doing to one girl the other day, I was like grabbing her chin like randomly because she like did taekwondo for a while and I like did boxing and kickboxing, and like I wrestled and me and my friends were like wrestling a bit and she was there and she was like trying to fight me. I would like put my hand in her face and go like Riz, and Riz, and then Riz, and I would like move her hand and then Riz. What's up, bro? But just act how you want to act. There's no like, there's certain formulas when it comes to like Yeah, give them a compliment. That's probably going to up your success rate. Yes, say a line, something along this where you compliment them, or say, hey, I want your number or your Instagram, instead of saying like, give it to me, slut. And like, it's your guy friend who like doesn't want to hear that. I don't know. But it's not very complicated. It's just new for a lot of people. And I swear, after COVID, the world changed when it came to this. People either got really good at socializing or they got horrible at socializing, because the people who craved it wanted to actually progress in it. So a lot of people got into like the autistically detailed phase of meeting people and learning how to interact with people and all that type of stuff. When people who like didn't have that progression based mindset after COVID, they stayed the same and they kept getting worse and they didn't know how to interact with people. Those are the people who like still wear masks in 2025, 2026 because they don't want to show their face because it makes them more comfortable. I know people who do that still. That's sad. And if that's how you want to act, then cool. But most people, that's not actually how they want to act. They're doing that because of like, I can't think of words because I've been recording for like 40 minutes and I'm tired. So I'm very sorry that this isn't as valuable as the beginning was. But they're more self-conscious and they're more used and more comfortable to not showing their face. Maybe they aren't that attractive, so they don't want to. It's a nice escape. And people kind of make fun of them and they make it a big deal about the mask, and then they don't want to take off the mask because then people are going to make an even bigger deal or whatever, and they don't have the concept of like delayed gratification beaten into them. So yeah, my actionable step to you, if you've watched this point or like you're waking up because you fell asleep, because nobody watches content this long. If you're just waking up now or whatever, my actionable step for you is just start now. Text a couple of people right now that you know that you can text and be like, hey, you want to hang out? I'm going to try and get a group together. I don't know how many people are going to show up, but it'll be at least me and you if you go. We should hang out. You can talk, make a group chat maybe about like, okay, this is everybody who wants to hang out. Y'all don't really know each other, but I know you guys will like each other because I'm friends with all you and I know you guys will like bond really well. Keep it easy. I'm pretty sure that's everything. What do we go over? We went over meeting someone, guys and girls. We went over progressing with them and being able to talk to them like outside of work or outside of school. So like getting their social media, their phone number, all that type of stuff. Hanging out with them, setting up the date, doing the actual interaction and all that type of stuff. And then what I like to do at the end is I always send like a message of gratitude. So like a sentence, 2 sentences, like sometimes a paragraph, like if it really counts for it. Send something short, just saying like, hey man, I had an awesome time. I'm super grateful for hanging out with you. Hope to do it again sometime. That type of thing. Yesterday when I hung out with like my 5 friends, I did that for all of them and they all really appreciated it. Again, hitting multiple emotions, multiple senses, making them happy, making them feel fulfilled, making them grateful, making them feel joy, all that type of stuff. With guys, it's more like positive stuff and then like motivation. With girls, it can be more of a mix. Now, with girls, if you want like a deeper relationship, then it's also more positive stuff. You don't really want them feeling like negatives. Obviously, you can tease them and girls love that shit. But when it's like just meeting them or trying to like just hook up, I guess, which I'm not recommending. But if that's the type of thing you're into, I'm going to give you the advice on it. If that's your type of goal, then trying to get them just pissed off, happy, sad, angry, all that type of stuff. Trying to hit as many things as possible. More emotions, more reasons to think about you. It is what it is. I believe that's been everything. If you're interested in my calisthenics paid product where you can practice these socialization skills on people online, make friends, there's a whole map feature where you can literally see guys who are in your country or interstate or in your city or whatever as it gets bigger. And you can interact with them, you can chat with them, all this type of stuff. If you're into calisthenics, if you're into training or fitness or any of that type of stuff, tons of courses, tons of programs, group calls with me. You can ask literally whatever you want. Until then, my name has been Brandon. Keep doing the best of doing your best. Trust God. And after I drink this water, I will be signing off. What?